Welcome to Aging with Purpose, Living an Engaged Senior Life. I'm Nancy Puter. I'm the founder of Seacoast Senior, and we are so glad that you're here today. How many of you have been here before? Wow. How many of you, it's their first time? Okay, so for your benefit, I am going to tell you a little bit about how Seacoast Seniors got started. As many of you already know, my day job is as a realtor. I've been a realtor for 47 years. And over those 47 years, I continually, each year, was called to someone's home to list their property, only to find that mom or dad had taken a fall and the kids had converged over the weekend to plan mom or dad's life before they went home on Monday. So I was always the last person they called, being the realtor, to list the house. And when I arrived, I walked into complete chaos, and the kids were already fighting with each other, spending mom's money, talking about the inheritance as if she were dead already, and when she's sitting right there in the chair. And I was so appalled. And they had also gone to Google and made a bunch of not so great decisions on some of the services that they needed. So I used to wonder, where the heck are the people to help these people? And I'm here to tell you that in over 40 years, not one person showed up. And I'm a very significant realtor, and I always have been, so I'm in a lot of homes every single year. So one day, about 7 years ago, a little voice said to me, "You need to do something." And I thought, well, that is utterly the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I was in denial about being a senior myself, so I'm like, I don't know anything about seniors. I could never, and my real estate is just a full-time job. How in the world? And after 3 days, the voice wouldn't go away, so I sat down and started doing some research. Fast forward, in 6 months, I was certified as a senior home professional and put on my first workshop, and I've been doing it ever since. Now, during the pandemic, I couldn't do the live workshops, so I spent a lot of that time going around and introducing myself to people who were in professions that catered to older adults and their families. And I was absolutely delighted to find out that there's some amazingly wonderful people out there. It's just that as I pondered that, I realized that they're all sitting in their office waiting for you to call and waiting for your kids to call. But when the crisis happens, they don't know it, and your kids don't know. And so that's why this situation occurred over and over and over again. So I made it my mission through education, doing these workshops, and connecting people with good people, and I mean the people with the white hats. How many know going to Google now is a roll of the dice? Okay, you don't want to go to Google. Tell all your kids, anything happens, call Nancy. Nancy will direct you to someone who she would refer to her own family. And really, honestly, if you don't hold on to any phone number, hold on to that one. So here we are 7 years later, and what I try to do is I just try to keep people connected to the good people. There's such a need out there. I'm the only one on the Central Coast that's doing this, and I'm hoping that you continue to come back and tell your friends, because we need to stick together as seniors and help each other find the right people before the crisis happens. Did you hear that? Before the crisis happens. We can also help you during and after the crises, but it's so much more enjoyable for you and your family if you know who to call ahead of time. So that's why we do what we do. Okay. Our workshops are educational only. There will be no sales pitches here. And let me see. Housekeeping. The restrooms are out the door on the other side of the stairs to the right, both men and women's rooms. Does everybody get a learning card when they came in, or have one that they brought? The learning cards are, they're just kind of a fun thing that we do. You either get the hole punched or initialed, and when you come to 10 workshops, you get a $10 Panera card. Woohoo! Okay. Everybody also should have a package that Ted gave you on the way in, and we did things a little differently this time. The feedback form is actually attached, so when the seminar is over, if you would flip it over, rip that feedback form off, because we want you to take the first part with you, and turn it in. You have to turn in your feedback form to get your learning card punched, okay? And we really appreciate your feedback. It's what keeps us going. We really love going through those feedback forms. Okay, I'd like to thank my sponsors who have already disappeared. Hold on. Sometimes I wish I could be two people. Okay, our sponsors help to finance us throughout the years so that we can continue to bring these workshops to you completely free of charge. So, Regenesis, Cravello Insurance, SLG. Okay, welcome back to Aging with Purpose, Living an Engaged Senior Life. Let me catch my breath. For those of you who don't know, on video we just had a dance break. We have some wonderful people here today who are all local, who are going to share who they are and what they do, and then we're going to interview them each separately. So let's start with a brief introduction from Athena, then Alan, then Dennis.
Hello, my name is Athena Maischeid, and I'm a volunteer and member of the Central Coast Senior Center, which is located in Oceano. If you know where the Rock and Roll Diner is, we're down the street. And I've been a volunteer and member for about 10 years, and I love it, and I'm excited to talk to you about it.
Thanks, Athena. Alan.
Good morning. My name is Alan, and I am a nurse with Central Coast Home Health and Hospice out of San Luis Obispo. And I've been doing it for approximately 13, 14 years. So.
It's a little harder for me to get up, but my name is Dennis Hara. I do the community outreach for Central Coast Home Health and Hospice. I had spent 13 years with the Los Angeles Rams. So I go into senior centers, assisted living, and talk about the things I have been through, the things I put my body through, and I'll go into more detail in a minute. But that basically, I do the community outreach for Central Coast Home Health and Hospice.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, you guys didn't realize we're going to have a celebrity here today, did you? Okay, so is everybody ready? Yes. Okay. Athena, we're going to start with you. If you would stand, I would appreciate it. Why, in your opinion, is staying socially engaged such a critical part of aging well?
Well, the social connections are so important, and as we know, as we age, things change. Sometimes we lose loved ones. Sometimes our bodies change and we can't engage in the activities that we once did, like marathon running or football playing or baseball. So we need to keep the opportunities open because our brains need exercise to stay healthy and keep our bodies healthy. And our brains are like a muscle, so we need to exercise that. It's not a muscle, but like a muscle, we need to exercise it because you use it or lose it. And one of the most important things we can do is make connections with other people, because when we talk to people, those neurons are lighting up. When we're laughing with people, our stress levels reduce. And it's not just psychological advantages to staying social. There are physical advantages. You know, that there's plenty of research out there that says that to reduce inflammation, you know, to stay social is important. And staying socially engaged can, and regular interactions can boost our immune system in addition. So very, very important.
Thank you, Athena. So, in your opinion, what holds people back from getting involved? And what do you say to someone who says, oh, that's not really for me?
I think maybe preconceived notions sometimes about what a senior center might be. You might think, well, I'm really not that old. Or you might think the opposite after looking at some of our activities like Tai Chi and yoga and line dancing. Oh, I'm too old for that. But I think if you put aside your preconceived notions and give it a try, you will be amazed. Because you can participate at the level that you feel comfortable. For example, if you attended one of our line dance classes or square dance, nobody cares if you want to sit down because your back hurts or you're tired or you just want to watch. And conversely, if you've got a lot of energy, people love it when you can teach a new dance, maybe volunteer yourself to teach something new, help somebody else at the center. So your level of participation depends on you. So don't be intimidated thinking that you're going to have to do something. Nobody cares if you're, you know, raising your left foot when you're supposed to be raising your right foot during our activities. And we've got so many different activities. Some are more physical, but some are more sedentary that you can do. Like we have coffee, tea, social. You don't need to move around a lot for that. We have bunko, bingo, cards, ukulele group. So there's lots of different activities, and I'm sure one of those activities you would enjoy, probably more than one. And the other thing is, if you're afraid you're not going to know anyone, I bet you will. Because last year, I think we had close to 300 members. Now, not everybody comes at once, obviously, but chances are you'll know someone.
And what does it cost to be a member?
You can attend without being a member. Our activities are very, very low cost. They're only $2 for members, a class or activity, or $3 if you're not a member. And if you become a member, that's $35 a year for a single and $40 for a family. Your costs go down to the $2. And you also get a less expensive luncheon.
So on any budget, I think that's doable, right?
Right.
So I would just like to interject here. If any of you have ever been to a senior center before, can everybody hear me okay? If you've ever been to a senior center and maybe didn't have a good experience, every senior center on the Central Coast has a different hours, different personalities. So I made a list of most of the local ones, and it's in the back, so when you leave, if you want to, just grab a list. My personal favorite is Central Coast Senior Center, because they do an amazing job over there. And did I hear you say that your volunteers are welcome?
Oh, yes. We're always looking. In fact, we're almost 100% volunteer run. We have one paid staff, a manager, part-time manager. So everyone else is a volunteer.
And then Meals That Connect comes in and serves
Yes.
lunches?
Yes. We have a lunch program at that center, and they also deliver to homebound seniors.
So it's pretty amazing. You should check it out. So Athena, how would you say the senior, well, you might have already answered this, but the question is, how does the senior center support people at different stages, from active retirees to those facing new limitations?
Well, you can become a member starting at age 50, and we have no upper limit. Miss Pearl, who I'm going to talk a little bit about, somebody who's really made a difference in so many of our lives, she was 102. And I believe she was our oldest member at this time, but we've had other members that have reached the magic 100. We support people throughout the decades by having a wide variety of activities with different levels of physicalness or non-physicalness. But also we have things in place such as medical equipment loans. So we have shower chairs and walkers and things that if people need them, we loan them out. And if you bring them back, great. If you can't bring it back, we don't worry. We have HICAP, which is health care counseling that comes to the center once a month. We have a food bank. We're a food bank drop-off. We have an attorney that comes once a month for free, little consultation that can get you started if you need, you have some questions. So once again, we're very customized in that, you know, you may need something different at 50 than you do at, you know, closer to 100. About the only people we cannot serve are people that require supervision due to health and safety reasons, because we're all volunteers and we're all busy. But they're welcome. You're welcome to come with an aide or a family member to participate in any of our activities.
Thank you, Athena. So if someone wanted to take one small step towards staying more engaged this month, what would you suggest?
I would suggest that they visit the center, come in, and sign up for our second Saturday luncheons. Now, these are luncheons put on by the Kiwanians of Arroyo Grande, and they usually have entertainment. They're kind of a fun way to meet new people. The food is usually always delicious and quite a large serving and inexpensive. If you're a member, it's $12, and if you're a non-member, $14. But it might be a good way to meet some new people and get to know them.
Wonderful. Thank you, Athena.
You're welcome.
Is there, do you have a story about someone that you'd like to talk about where it coming to the senior center made a big difference in their lives?
I do. She's on all our minds. I think I mentioned Pearl Cole, and maybe some of you knew Pearl because she seemed to know everyone. Pearl was a founding member of the Senior Center, and she not only benefited from her participation at the center, which she participated until she was 102 as a volunteer and a member. She would drive herself to the center and back home. She's got her first driver's license at 102, driver's test. I'm sorry, she had her driver's license, but she had her first actual in the car driver's test this past year. And she got her license renewed for 2 more years. Pearl did pass in December, but the man at the DMV was like, "How many of these have you taken?" And she's like, "You're the first one." He goes, "What do you mean I'm the first one?" And she said, "Well, back when I started driving, they didn't make you get in the car and drive with somebody from the DMV." She had taken the written test, but she'd never had in-car person, observing her. So back to Pearl. She was a most amazing lady, and she volunteered weekly. She was on the board not only of our senior center but other nonprofits. She'd greet you with a hug. She wrote the most beautiful letters, and she was also our wisdom and guidance for how the center was to be run. And it was very important to her to keep the activities low cost so people from all walks of life could come and participate. And participation was important to her. She was very regular, like I said. And the other thing that I found just amazing was she attended, there's a group at our center that's called TOPS, Taking Off Pounds Sensibly. And it's kind of a Weight Watchers group. She was still attending that at 102, so she was still wanting to keep her figure, and that was important to her. So all of us, we've all been touched by Pearl. We miss her so much, and she's left quite a legacy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Athena. So I think Pearl is a great example of how staying engaged can help you live a wonderful, productive, you don't have to be Pearl. I mean, just listening to all the things she did kind of exhausted me a little bit. But she's a good example about how staying engaged will not only lengthen your days in most cases, but also, and most importantly, improve the quality of your days. So now we are going to hear from Alan. So Alan has already introduced himself. He's a home health nurse with Central Coast Home Health. And we're going to start off with his first question, which is, from your perspective as a home health nurse, Alan, what does aging with purpose really look like in everyday life?
Aging with purpose. Okay, so health, your health. Okay, if you can stay. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear. Okay, thank you for the reminder. Okay, yeah. So your health is the number one thing. Okay, aging with purpose. You want to age well. You want to be able to move around. You want to feel good. You want to live good. Your health is very important, and that's where somebody like Central Coast Home Health can help you with. If for some reason you should end up in the hospital, the doctors are going to order home health for you in home to help you rehab. We are the ones that are going to come out and help you do that to reach your goal.
And I would just like to interject, because you're probably not going to say this. When you get out of the hospital just gives you a list. Call one of these people and have them come out. Which one do you want? And you're laying there, half drugged, or your family's just flown in from out of town, and they're like, I don't know, oh, I like that name. Oh, let's have them come out. And it's not as good as if you know ahead of time to Central Coast Home Health will always be on the list. Always choose Central Coast Home Health, because they have the best reputation on the Central Coast.
Mm.
Right, Alan?
Yes.
And he won't
Thank
tell
you.
you that, but I will. No questions until the Q&A period, please.
Okay.
But let us know if you can't hear. We appreciate that. Okay, so what are some early signs you notice that someone may be starting to struggle at home or even before a major health event?
Okay. Some signs, let's say dizziness, tremors, shaking, just not feeling right, or some signs that something could be happening. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So do you think it might be better to call your doctor before you collapse on the floor and
Yes.
3 days later when your neighbor finds you
Yes.
because the dog keeps barking?
Yeah. Okay. If for any reason you should be feeling out of sorts, like the symptoms I described, weakness, shakiness, always call your doctor. And if for some reason you can't get in to make an appointment, if you feel it's necessary, go to the ER. Okay. So.
This can make a huge difference for you and your family. Remember, always keep in mind the people that are going to have to come in and rescue you. Sometimes you think you're being really brave, and you men, you're the worst. You're the worst. It's like, oh, I'm just going to tough it out, No, don't do that. I'd rather you go to the emergency, and so would your family and the people who care about you. And too often, something really bad happens that could have been prevented. So you are not, this is a news alert. You are not, you might still look 40 years old, but you are not 40 years old anymore. Okay? And, when you fall, one fall can change the whole trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
So you want to avoid it where you can. And speaking of falling, what would you say, Alan, are the most important things that help older adults stay safely independent in their own homes longer?
Lots of exercise as tolerated. The more active you are, the better you're going to feel. You're going to exercise your muscles, your joints. And if you want, go to an exercise class, or you can also see a physical therapist who can help you, exercise as well, and work on balance to prevent falls, muscle strengthening, that also prevents falls, and a good diet, yeah.
And how does staying engaged in daily routines and meaningful activities affect both physical and emotional health from a nurse's point of view?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
How does staying engaged in daily routines and meaningful activities affect both the physical and emotional health?
Okay. Staying engaged, it's socializing. It activates your mind, your brain, your thoughts, your body, makes you feel alive and do things that feel good to you. And staying engaged in everyday life, it's just good for you, and it's going to show in every way. Yeah.
So how do home health nurses and occupational therapists work together to help people remain engaged and independent at home?
Okay. I'm going to back up just a little bit. Okay, Nancy had mentioned falls earlier before we started the program. And so I'm going to give you an example. If you had a fall in your home and you had to go to the hospital, the doctors, they're going to do their thing, to get you back on your feet, and then they're going to discharge you home. When they discharge you home, they're going to order, most likely, a physical therapist and an occupational therapist to come to your house and help you rehab. In doing so, the physical therapist is going to evaluate you, do what the doctor's orders say, help you reach that muscle strengthening. The occupational therapist is going to come in and they're going to evaluate you for activities of daily living, such as getting dressed, taking a shower, and they're going to help you do the exercises to get to where you need to get to do those things.
So how can families help during this process and offer support without unintentionally taking away independence?
How can families support?
Yeah, without the older adult feeling like their independence is being
Okay.
snatched away from them.
Okay. Families can support by just loving the family member, encouraging and lifting them up while they're rehabbing. Sometimes you'll get somebody that's just a little bit overzealous, and sometimes the family member doesn't want them there. So, yeah, no, it's be a cheerleader.
And you can help them. You can help the older adult talk to the adult child.
Yes. But we also, the clinician that comes in, they can talk to the to the adult child, or we can have a social worker come in and, also talk to them. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
so besides being released from the hospital,
Mhm.
when is the best time to involve home health, and how does planning ahead change the aging experience compared to waiting for a crisis?
Okay, so the first part of that was how can home health help?
Yeah, at what point?
At what point?
Yeah, let's see. When is the best time to involve? Like when,
Okay, okay,
like
got
people
it.
are at home and things seem to be deteriorating, one spouse or the other,
Mhm.
or either by themselves. At what point should they consider giving
Okay.
Central Coast Home Health a call to see if
Right.
maybe their services would
Okay, would benefit.
be warranted?
Okay. I'll give you an example. Sometimes I'll have patients call me and say, hey, my mom is not feeling good. She almost fell last week. Do you think we can get physical therapy in here as a preventative measure? And so that's the perfect time to come in, because a physical therapist can come in, they can assess what's going on with the patient, then they can help them with muscle strengthening or whatever it is they might need. They can also assess to see if maybe they need to go see their doctor, which they should, and then physical therapists can work with them.
Okay. So, and could you touch a little bit on whether insurance pays for home health, or is that something more of an individual thing?
No, insurance, Medicare will cover 100%, no out-of-pocket expenses. Okay. We also contract with most insurances in the area. Okay, so there's a variety of insurance we take: Blue Shield, Blue Cross, Aetna. So whatever you have, we have an insurance department that can just run your insurance. And gosh, most times there's no out-of-pocket expense.
So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. So if attendees take away just one small step that they
Uh-huh.
can do this month to support aging with purpose,
Mhm.
what would you suggest?
To support aging with purpose, come to another workshop, and then.
How about picking up some small rugs around the house
yeah,
and
okay,
throwing
yeah,
them in
yeah,
the
yeah.
closet permanently?
Yes, yeah, that's a great thing to do. Yeah, that is a falling hazard. Turn lights on when you need them. Don't try to save electricity. Turn the lights on, and remove rugs. So.
And
Yeah.
lock your front door.
Always.
I'm always
Yeah.
going to give you guys my 2 cents, whether it's relevant or not. But please lock your front door.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Alan.
Sure.
Okay. Next, we're going to listen to Dennis. And I forgot to mention to you earlier, we do have a 10-minute question and answer period when we're all through. It's only 10 minutes. You get one question. And if it's of a personal nature, you can come up afterwards. Each of our speakers have agreed to stay up to 30 minutes after the workshop is over, and you can come up and speak to each one of them individually. Okay, and so that way we keep the Q&A period manageable, because I do promise to get you out at 11:30, and I'm pretty true to my word every time. I think we went over once and I heard about it.
Nancy,
So,
you want me to just take it and go with it?
well, I just want to say that while Dennis's experience comes from professional sports, this is well written, so I want to
Sure,
read
it's
it.
well written, I'm sure.
So while Dennis's experience comes from professional sports, the lessons translate beautifully to aging, adapting, accepting support, and staying engaged. So Dennis, you've experienced physical limitations earlier than most people expect. What has that taught you about adapting and staying engaged when your body doesn't work the way it used to?
After playing 13 years in the NFL, I had 4 years in college, junior high school, I played almost 20 years of ball. People ask me, have you ever been injured? I had turf toe, plantar fasciitis. I broke my ankle, I broke my leg, I tore my calf, I had knee surgery. I tore my quad, I tore my hamstring, I had my hip pointer. I spent 10 days in traction with a herniated disc in my back. I broke my fingers, I broke both hands. I have pinched the nerve in my neck, I had my teeth knocked out, I broke my nose. I've been knocked out 5 times, but other than that, I'm okay. And why I go out with Alan, and Alan goes through the technical parts and he's so caring and everything. He cares so much about what he does, but it's a little boring. And so they bring me on to get everybody. Sorry,
No, it's
Alan.
not boring.
But
It's just the
get
material.
They have me come on and just smile. Just to get people to smile. And they go, what can I do? You know what? The number one thing, as we talked about, is exercise. The number one thing that we can do with our bodies, what we've all been through, some of us have been through worse than others, is to try to exercise, whether you walk, roll, swim, I don't care. Sit in your chair and do your exercises. Whatever you can do. And then the other thing, too, is just to smile. Because, if you see me, you're going to see me smiling. And I see you, and I can see it. It's an addictive thing to do. We all smile and work our way through. And it's just amazing what that can do. And how it can help each and every one of us. And whether you're a very religious person, not. My wife, she drags me to the Catholic Church. I call it the up-down church, because you never know. I never know, am I supposed to stand up, sit down? Am I standing back up again? Okay, here we go. But one of the things in the church, they always say, peace be with you. And when I have a bad day, and when things aren't just working just right, I have interpreted that to ask the Lord to give me peace. Because I'm having a bad day here. Lord, can you please give me peace? And you know what? Whether your higher power is something else or whatever, but it certainly will works for me. And some days are tougher than others, and I know. And sometimes tragedies happen in our lives. I'm originally from West Virginia. I signed a letter of intent to go to Marshall University. I was wrestling in a wrestling match. We're driving home from the wrestling match, and we hear that there's a plane crash. We lost 39 ball players. We lost the whole team. We lost the coaches. We lost everyone. We lost everyone. And we talk about tragedies. It still gives me chill bumps to this day. We all, unfortunately, will experience some sort of tragedies in our lives. And just to be able to deal with that somehow, some way, and get through it is tough. And like I said, Lord, give me peace. And just try to get through those tragedies. All those poor kids, 39 kids on that plane. And I could have been one of them if I was a year earlier, because I was going to go to Marshall University. And then my coach knew a coach in Miami, and I went down to the University of Miami. And the rest is history. I was All-American. I was a first-round draft choice. I was a second offensive lineman in the nation picked. And I signed a contract for $30,000. That contract today would be $26 million. And people ask me, how do you feel? I go, bitter. No, that's just a sign of the times. That was, hey, it's the game has changed, and there's so much money involved, and it's such a world market now. Is it better? No. Is life a lot better? No. Are we all fighting against each other for everything? Yes. And just, again, so you got to sit down and ask somebody to give you peace, please. And that's one of the things that, like I said, it helped me. And you know, the players I played against and that, but that's, if you've got some important questions you want to ask me, I can go with that way, or I can keep going. So it's up to you. So
well,
whatever you want.
You're doing a good job of answering them
thank
before
you.
I ask. So my next one is, when your career ended and your body changed, what helped you redefine purpose? And I think you just covered that. Smile and ask for peace.
Smile, ask for peace, and get in the gym. I've been in the gym my whole life. I'm in the gym 4 or 5 times a week. And I ride my bike, I swim, I'm in there, just that's the main thing, is finding something that you like, going to the gym, getting out of the house, getting some exercise, and doing that. It means everything. It means everything. And one of the things, we have this brochure here, and there's a number on the back of this brochure. Alan, we've got plenty of them, don't we? Okay. This number, 805-543-2244, that number could be the most important number of your life. That we have somebody answering that phone 24/7. Find a number that you can call, and somebody's going to answer it at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not going to happen. But we do it, because our owners, they say yes. They say yes. So if you do anything today other than sell your house, what?
With Nancy Pewter, 805-710-2415.
Take that brochure and stick it somewhere on the refrigerator with that number, in case something happens and you need to ask somebody a question at 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I don't answer my phone that late.
No.
So I'm
But
glad
again,
you're there. I'm glad
yes.
you're there, Dennis.
Uh,
So when your career, well, we talked about that, but what was the hardest part about accepting help during your recovery? And what would you tell others who struggle with that loss of control? So here you are, Mr. Big Guy, and now you're having to rely on others to help you until you recover.
You know, my whole life, we had to recover. My whole career, I had to recover. That's why we had trainers, we had doctors. That back in the day, you get knocked out, you go over to the sidelines, you sit on the bench, and they go, "How many fingers do you see?" And so that's the kind of help of my recovery. I said 2. They go, "Get your ass back in there." so you might want to get a little better recovery or a little bit better help than I had. So it was, I didn't mean to make fun of that by any means, but it is funny. It's a fact of it is just, you know what you got to do. You all are very, very smart on knowing what you have to do, and just get that exercise, and then smile. Then find a way to smile. Find some silly ass way to smile, and it just works. It really, really does, and it's just something that I care very much about. Is smiling and exercise. And I think everybody's covered everything here today. And like I said, this brochure is so important. So important. And I've been blessed, even though I've had so many injuries, I'm fine. I've been blessed. Sometimes I turn the wrong way going home, but other than that, I'm still, a couple times I've done that. But anyway, I still feel very, very blessed that I get to work with Alan, get to work with Central Coast Home Health and Hospice. I get to go into senior centers, and I get to share with them. And I get, just like I said, it's so addictive to me, because if I can get you to smile, I go, man, what a great day I had. What a great day I had. And that's my deal. That's what I do. That's what I do for Central Coast Home Health and Hospice, and I enjoy every moment of it.
Dennis, that's perfect. So is there anything else you'd like to share? Maybe also the autograph opportunities?
Oh, that's right. Okay, what I brought. See, I told you there's some things I forget. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
We're all working together
Here it is. 294 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. And this is my old face down in the corner. So I will stay here as long as you want. If you have a son, a grandson, you want one, whoever wants one, I'd be happy to sign one for you. And I'll stay right here and do it. And I'm glad to be a part of it. And I'm glad to be a part of your lives here today. And thank you for smiling and making my day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis. What a treat to have Dennis here today, huh? So, okay, we're going to open it up now for question and answer period. And so, who would like to start? Larry.
This is for Ellen. You mentioned that
I'm going to repeat the questions, by the way.
this is
Sorry.
about Medicare paying for home health.
Yes.
My experience is you need a doctor's referral before Medicare will pay. Is that correct?
So Larry is saying his experience has been that you need a doctor's referral before insurance would pay for home health.
And Larry, that is correct. You do need a doctor's order. So what can happen is if you go to the hospital, the doctor will write an order when you discharge. Or you can go see the doctor directly regarding your issue, and if you want home health, he'll write an order and he'll send it to us. Or you can call me directly or my office, let them know what's going on, tell me who your doctor is, and I will go get the order. I'll do all the footwork.
Oh, that's wonderful, because trying to get through to your doctor can be a nightmare nowadays, especially if you've got some sassy lassie on the phone. And but they're much more likely to take your call.
That's right.
Right.
Yes.
So that would be the way to go.
And one of the okay, so and just to let you know, as a liaison, we have really close relationships with all the doctors out there, all the doctors' offices. In fact, I have cell phone numbers to at least 12 to 14 doctors where I can assess you and make that determination if you need it, and then I can write an order and I will send it to the doctor and he'll approve it, yes or no. Yeah.
That's why some of these connections that we share with you are so important.
Yes.
So another question in the back.
So how many visits does Medicare actually cover?
So how many visits does Medicare actually cover?
what'll happen is when you get the order, we send it into the doctor, we run it through your insurance, and Medicare they will tell us how many visits you get. And usually you'll be assigned like an episode, like a 2-month episode for 60 days, and then we get assigned so many visits. And if you need more visits, the nurse will just reevaluate, send that evaluation in, and then it gets approved, and we continue to see you.
So this is new information. I think this is the first time you've heard this from the front of the room. It was new information for me. So that's really good to know, Alan. Next question. Bill.
Where can I get one of those brochures?
Oh, yeah.
Afterwards, you just
Yes.
come up to the front.
Yes.
Okay? Yes.
I would, to relate, I'm sorry.
Athena? Athena?
It's sort of the average age range of people in the senior center coming.
So Athena, what is the average age of the people going in there? Are they all 98 to 102?
No, but you know what? It's become really difficult for me to tell people's ages. First of all, anybody under 50, I think they're like teenagers. But I'm always, people, especially the women there, they'll mention, oh, I'm 85, and I'll go, what? You're 85? You know, so I'm probably not the best judge, but I would say we have a good smattering of 70, 80, and 90, and maybe a smaller amount of late 60s. We don't have, even though 50 is, the age at which you can participate, we don't have a ton of people that are 50. Sometimes we'll get a younger crowd playing bingo or some of the games, but I'd say for the most part, 70, 80s probably.
Yeah, and I've
most of
seen
our-
sick people in their 60s
Yeah,
over there.
I'm in my 60s.
So you're not going to
yeah.
walk in and go, oh my gosh, these
Yeah.
people are also old.
No.
Yeah, you're not
No.
going to do that. You're not going to feel that way. The first time I went on a cruise, I went on a Viking river cruise, and in Europe, because my husband won't go in the ocean because he wants to be able to see the banks of the river, somewhere he could swim to. And so we went all the way to Europe to go on this river cruise, and I don't know what I was thinking. This is before Seacoast Seniors, and I was really in denial about how old I was getting to be. And I got on that ship, and everybody, it just chilled me to the bone because everybody was so old. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to be here for a week, or 10 days or whatever it was. And, after a couple of days, I realized I am one of these people, But I don't know about you guys, but I still feel about 40 on the inside. And when I look in the mirror, I do a good job of fooling myself too, And so sometimes the shock is real. Okay, any more questions? Okay, and like I said, everyone's going to stay after. Let's see. Everybody danced today. That's so good. I'm so proud of all of you. Some days I just have people talking in a corner, and I'm like, come on now. Okay. All right, so today's message is simple. Purpose doesn't disappear. It just evolves. Aging well means staying engaged, accepting support when needed, and knowing that you don't have to do this alone. Before we wrap up, I want to let you know that all of our speakers have generously agreed to stay and answer questions one-to-one, so please feel free to come up and chat with them. You'll also find handouts here and in the back of the room. And just as a reminder, my day job is as a realtor, so if a move is part of your present or future, I truly appreciate the opportunity to represent you. Thank you again for coming, and we are going to do our raffle. We're kind of wrapping it up early today, so if some questions come up, we can, here's another question. Oh, okay. So the senior center hours at the Central Coast Senior Center are,
Generally, Monday through Friday from about 10 to 3. We kind of lock up at 3, but there are groups that we have that are evening groups. But if you're just going to come pay a visit, I would come between 10 and 3. Someone will be there earlier, but like the manager comes in around 10. So 10 to 3 is Monday through Friday is a good time to come and visit.
okay. Did any of you think of something that you wish you would have said or that you'd like to add now?
I just noticed that we have another employee here. Josh is here. He's another one of the liaisons with Central Coast Home Health and Hospice.
Hi, Josh.
So if you see his pretty face around, you'll know that he is
Feel free to ask me any questions or anything like that.
he is the man.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, now I'd like to introduce you to Ted. Ted, come on up and bring those raffle tickets with you. How many of you have met Ted before? Okay. Well, Ted is someone I have known for many years, and he's a regular attendee of our workshops, and he has agreed to be our official greeter from now on. So make him feel welcome. Give him a big hand. Okay, let me grab let me grab it. Our first raffle gift is a box of Crumbles cookies, which is always a big hit. And that is going to go to the lucky winner. Anybody want to do a drum roll? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. 1751404. 1751404. Now, I didn't see anybody walk out. All right. I threw out last month's. Okay, here we go again. Oh, it's probably you. Yeah, it's probably Ted. No, okay. All right. Let's try another one. All right. 1751388. Mike Delalio. Here you go, Mike. You're very welcome. Hopefully they made it here in one piece. I think I dropped them twice. Okay. Our next raffle gift is a gift certificate to Subway's sandwich place. And that lucky winner is $1751397. Woohoo! Here we go. Here you go, dear. Be careful. Okay. And we have one more. This is a gift certificate to Panda Express. And I know if they're not boring, if my raffle gifts are starting to get boring, tell my sponsors so they need to start donating. I'm always scrambling the day before the seminar. What should I get? What should I get? Okay. So Panda Express goes to 1751402.
That's me.
Woohoo! Here we go. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. So thank you all for coming today. Please come up and meet the speakers. Hang around for a while, meet somebody, have some coffee, and please have a muffin. Do not leave those muffins for me, okay? Thank you. If you want to take one home to someone, that's okay. Hi, I'm Nancy Puter, a senior home coach on the Central Coast of California. If you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe. Hit the button in the bottom corner and subscribe. And if you do live on the Central Coast of California, we would love to help you and your family get their ducks in a row. Contact me at area code 805-710-2415.